All right, everybody. Welcome to Sports Hype's 75th episode. Big milestone right here. 75 episodes. It's beautiful to see. We're going to keep growing this channel, keep going on. But today we got a lot to talk about, in the sports world. First off, what's going on with Portland? What's going on with Milwaukee? How did they make this trade happen with Dame Lillard going to Milwaukee to play with the Greek Freak and Giannis Antetokounmpo? Can't wait to see what's going on there. We're going to see firsthand how Miami Heat fans, reacting to this all right now. We're going to be talking about the NFL, what happened week 3, what's going on with the Cowboys. How did they lose to the Cardinals? They were supposed to be top of the NFC. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Miami's 70-point win, right? The 70 points that they put up against Denver. We're going to be talking about the Steelers and how they won. Can't believe that happened again. Then we're going to be talking about, the injuries and Mike Williams, right? We're going to be talking about how all these injuries are affecting the NFL season, right? With these big-time players, Nick Chubb, Mike Williams, all these other guys, Trayvon Diggs, there's a multitude of them. Then we're talking about how Jonathan Taylor, is he ever going to be a Colt again? Where is he going to play next? Going to be talking about Chandler Jones possibly with the Raiders. And then finally, just got to mention, Taylor Swift went to the Chiefs game, right? So I can't believe that happened. So this is all happening right now. Get your popcorn. It's going to be a great episode. Let's start it.
Yes, sir. So, obviously, we got to start with the Woj bomb that was dropped yesterday. Damian Lillard teaming up with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Milwaukee Bucks came out of nowhere. No one saw this coming. Apparently, Dame said that he was willing to go to the Bucks if the Heat talks went nowhere, which clearly they didn't, unfortunately, for Nick Saya over there. But if you guys didn't see the trade, it was a 3-team trade. The Bucks got, of course, Damian Lillard. The Blazers got Jrue Holiday, who they're looking to ship immediately. And some teams are very interested, including the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat, of course, still looking for a point guard. And they also got DeAndre Ayton, Tomani Kamara, 2029 first-round Bucks pick and Bucks pick swap. And the Suns got Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen. What are your guys' thoughts on this trade? Because when I saw that, my mind was blown.
Go right ahead, sir. You can start it off.
I'm angry personally.
I'm sure you are.
Not only did Miami not bring in Dame, it was Milwaukee of all teams that got Dame. A team that we will have to go through every single year to try to get to the finals. So Milwaukee got better. They're my number 1 team now to win the championship. And then Miami got worse this offseason trying to get Dame. And so not getting Dame now, they're in a terrible situation, I think.
Yeah, I absolutely. I'll go ahead.
No, my fault. Oh, you.
No, I was just gonna say I absolutely agree with that because I've been saying it since the trade went down. The Heat really set themselves up for failure. They were just like, oh yeah, we're gonna get Dame no matter what. Let their starters go, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, and now they could have had Bradley Beal, and now they're like, oh shoot, what do we do now? Stick with Kyle Lowry? Like, what are you gonna do?
One thing though, like Miami Heat, I feel like they gotta try to get Drew and Harden. That's the only way I'm giving up Tyler Hero at this point. But to go to the actual trade, not the out of party team that lost the trade. I think Milwaukee wins this trade. Dame's the closest thing to Stephen Curry possible, which is the perfect fit next to Giannis. And on paper, the duo of Giannis and Dame, while keeping Brook Lopez, while keeping K-Mid, and keeping Bobby Portis, like they didn't have to get their whole team to make this trade possible. So they won.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Dame and Giannis can put up 50 apiece each a night, plus what Middleton, Brook Lopez, and Bobby Portis can give you.
Yeah. Then I like what the Trailblazers did getting Aiden. The Suns. Actually, I like the Suns more than the Blazers on that trade.
I do too, because like they got rid of Ayton, and like that gets a big contract off the books because he wanted money, and they can't pay him with Beal, Book, and KD already on the books.
But also, I think they got more depth with that trade,
They did. Grayson Allen. Yeah.
which I think that makes the Suns scary in my eyes. But they ain't above the Bucks.
No. But Gio, what's your thoughts?
Well, first off, let me just preface by saying, stating out what the trade actually was for those who don't know it. Damian Lillard goes to the Bucks, right? The Suns get Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, Kenan Johnson, right? Or Keon Johnson. The Blazers get Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Kamani Kamara, 2029 first round pick, Milwaukee first round pick, then 2028, 2030 first round swap rights with Milwaukee. Picks are unprotected. Yes, I do believe personally, I'm gonna preface this, before I say this. I love Steph Curry, best shooter of all time. Gonna go down in history as possibly the top 10 greatest players of all time. But his playing style, he can't carry a team like Damian Lillard can. Dame Dalla has shown again and again that he can carry a team into the playoffs by himself with little to no help. Steph Curry now has 2 out of the 3, longest tenured players on the same team right now, right? With Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. They're obviously, in a league of their own as well. Damian Lillard has been doing this again and again, being, showstopper, every single night. Then you got on the East, the Greek Freak, who pretty much won a championship in 2021 by himself. Yes, he had help with Drew Holiday. Yes, he had, Middleton, but he predominantly, won them that championship. He then also, swept the Miami Heat in that playoff series as well when they played against them in 2021, which is also the second greatest Eastern Conference team in back then and possibly now. So when you have that said, and these two guys who can pretty much carry a franchise on their own come together, right? And their playing styles, Giannis Antetokounmpo being a bigger body, right? Damian Lillard, being a sharpshooter that he is, these two can create each other's offense, right? But then defensively, right? Damian Lillard doesn't have to play that great of his defense as, he needed to in Portland, right? Carrying the team on his own. He's got help around him now. This is the first time where he's actually got another perennial all-star, right? Yes, he had CJ McCollum, but Giannis Antetokounmpo is in a league of his own now. You got Chris Middleton too. You got Brook Lopez. You got Bobby Portis. You got a great team around you. That being said, they should be the favorites to come out of the East. Beautiful. It's going to be showstopper every single night. Everybody should get ready. Grab your popcorn because that team, that Milwaukee Bucks team, is going to turn out the lights. Every single night, right? Now for the best team that won out in the West, you guys say it's the Suns. I understand your reasoning with Grayson Allen, but they already have a lot of shooting, right? They just got Bradley Beal, where we don't even know how they're going to work together and gel together because you have Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, right? Bradley Beal, right? And so those three alone, that alone is enough firepower to go ahead. So you add Grayson Allen onto that. How many shots is he really going to put up every single night? He's not going to put up that many shots compared to.
It's not really the shots, though. It's more defense, in my opinion.
Defensively, yes, I agree. He's going to help defensively, but really, the Portland Trailblazers won this trade, in my opinion, second to the Bucks. Why? Because they got DeAndre Ayton. If they can make him happy, they can extend his contract for a long time. He will be the second or third best guy on that team, though. You got Scoot Henderson, where you don't even know what he can do yet. He's a rookie, right? He's got great potential. You got Jeremy Grant, where he was the top guy, on the Pistons. He was averaging 25, 5, and 5 a game, right? He was an all-star. So you have, Jeremy Grant, Scoot Henderson, DeAndre Ayton, right? Then you add these other players as well. And Drew Holiday, which obviously they're going to try to ship off for possibly picks. But then again, they're rebuilding for that future. 2028, 2029, Scoot Henderson's going to be in his third, fourth, or fifth year, right? So he's going to be up there. He's going to be getting, his veteran belt underneath him. He's going to be in the league for a minute. He's going to get better. He's going to be possibly one of the best players in the league. is his potential, and then you add these great young talents around him, possibly throughout these draft classes, it's going to be fun to watch for Portland because they're getting ready for a big push in the West later on down in the line.
The one thing I would say though, DeAndre Ayton's a player offensively that wants the ball, and that's why the Suns and him weren't meshing. So getting Nurk, he's not going to demand for his touches. He's going to let the other four do their thing. And then he'll just kind of play his role, I think, better than Ayton would. So even though they got a worse player out of it, I think having Ayton gone, where he's not going to demand the ball, I think they get better with a worse off player who's more willing to buy in and play his role.
I agree with that, right? Yusuf Nurkic will fit better on the Suns. But who won the trade, right? It's got to be Portland because they just got all these picks working down the line for Scoot Henderson. And then you got a young DeAndre Ayton who can possibly stay there. You got a big man now who's very talented and who knows what he can do pretty much by himself. You got a lot of space. He's got a lot of possibilities he can do offensively, like you just mentioned. He's an offensive player. He can, develop and become a better, more rounded offensive player too in Portland. And you got Jeremy Grant there too. So personally, I see Portland winning this out because they are building for the future.
I mean, yeah, but Suns are trying to win now, and I think they got the pieces to do that in this trade because
do you think that though? Do you think they can win now?
They can win now if it all works together. If they all work together well.
Would you, as of right now, would you put money on it?
As of right now, no. The money going on the Bucks right now.
Right. Well, personally, it's right now. It's the Lakers, right? It's the Lakers because we know what that consists of. But yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. Phoenix, we don't know collaboratively. Are these guys going to work together? Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant, right? Yusuf Nurkic. I'm not sure. All this star power, yeah, they have plenty of star power. We've seen that in Brooklyn with Kevin Durant before. Is it going to work out here? I don't think so.
Yeah, but I think the Suns won because they got better defensively in my eyes. Because Yusuf Nurkic isn't that much of a fall off from Ayton's defense. Ayton wasn't that great at defense. Nurkic, he might be better, but they're at least the same defensively. And then Grayson Allen is a great perimeter defender, which is what the Suns lacked last year. And they also got Keon Johnson, who's also a great perimeter defender.
But do you think those two guys are going to be enough to go against, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, right? Austin Reeves, all these other great guys. Gabe Vincent is another great name they added. So is you can have two great defenders, right? But it takes a team of defenders collaboratively. Austin Reeves, like I mentioned, Anthony Davis, one of the best defenders in the league. LeBron James can play defense at any point in time he wants to, right? So when you have 4 or 5 great defenders and offensively gifted players, you can't just bank on your perennial offense like the Phoenix Suns to win you a championship. You do have to have that solid foundation of defense, which Kevin Durant obviously does not play, right? Devin Booker is not the best defender, right? Then you also got Bradley Beal, who's also not the best defender. These guys are all scorers.
I mean, we saw D Book play probably his best defense ever in that playoff series last year.
I agree, but can he do it again? I'm not sure.
I believe he can.
We've seen it.
What's up,
also,
fan?
KD's like an average defender. I would say Book's slightly below average.
Right.
I would say Beal's.
He's better than both of those
average.
guys.
Beal's average, yeah.
Right. But can they beat out LeBron James's defense? LeBron James, when he wants to play defense, I don't think anyone can, go by him.
AD won't be there, so.
Tripping.
But I'm saying if Anthony Davis is there, he's one of the best defenders in the league, if not the best defender, as we saw last year when healthy. He was averaging, 3 blocks a game, Jay?
Yeah.
So.
But also, back to the Blazers, what you're saying.
Right.
I don't see Jeremy Grant staying.
Oh, for real?
I think he's going to. He's back to flip.
You think he's going to be put into a Jrue Holiday trade, or do you think they're going to try to ship him out before the season or by February?
I don't know when, but I don't think he fits the timeline anymore. They're a really young team now, and they're looking for the future. Jeremy Grant is like a win now type of player. That's why Dame wanted him. That's why they brought him back for Dame.
I do see that. They did sign him to a large bag though. Let's not forget that.
Right. Will a team want to take on that contract is the
Right.
question.
Right. But also with a young developing squad, you do need one veteran player, right? You do need that one veteran who's been in the league, who's been in those moments. Remember, he was in the Western Conference Finals back in 2020 with the Denver Nuggets. So he understands the winning type of mentality as well, where he can teach these younger guys, this is how we do it, right? Because if you have a young squad, let's look at the Oklahoma City Thunder right now. Those guys never been to a Western Conference Finals. They have to get there before they can go ahead and win it, right? It's going to be a very gifted and talented team if they go ahead first time to go ahead and win the Western Conference Finals. And I just don't see it happening. Just like with the Grizzlies, they needed to get their, feet underneath them before they could start rolling too.
But Nick's right though. He doesn't fit the timeline because in my eyes, it'll be at least 5 years until they make a Western Conference Finals. And by that time, Jeremy Grant will be at least 30 to 35.
You don't see him prolonging his peak.
I think he's hit his peak right now. That's what I think.
What so since this is hypothetical, Nick, right? And you don't think that he fits their timeline, where can you see Jeremy Grant going? Miami?
I think ideally later in the season he'll get shipped out
Right.
to a team that's there, but they're not over the Bucks yet. They're not over the Suns, over the Thunder. They need that Jeremy Grant piece to put them over.
Right. Could you see a possible New York Knicks if you see Jalen Brunson going off? If you see, RJ Barrett doing his thing, you see Mitchell Robinson doing his thing. The one piece that I think is inconsistent is a Julius Randle. Do you think that they could ship out Julius Randle for a Jeremy Grant possibly?
I mean, it would be the Knicks to do that, but I see that as a terrible trade.
For the Knicks?
Yeah, because that doesn't put them above the Bucks for me. So I think it's like a pointless.
That's true, but nothing's going to put the Knicks over the Bucks at this point.
Yeah, but
well,
I'm talking like Philly. You let James Harden sit on the bench long enough where he's not playing, and the Sixers are still a top 4 seed. Jeremy Grant can slide in and play nice next to Embiid. He can play nice next to Tyrese. Maybe they get Drew Holiday included in that trade, where then the Sixers are competitive with the Bucks.
Why do you have the Sixers that high right now?
Huh?
Why? I'm sorry. I know I'm going off topic, but the Sixers, why do you have them that high?
You still got the reigning MVP and Joel Embiid. You got Tyrese Maxey, who's going to take a leap, I think. Tobias Harris played a really good role last year, where he played his role, played it well. And I think they just stayed the same team besides Harden having this whole hissy fit.
So you think they'll be top 4 even if Harden doesn't play a single game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Miami's going to slide in at like the 7. The top 4 teams are going to be Bucks, Celtics,
yep,
Cavaliers, Sixers.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay.
And then you slide Jim. But
yeah, I mean, if you slide Jeremy Grant in there, they could compete with the Bucks.
That's what I'm saying.
But going back to Julius Randle, I believe the Knicks do have to get rid of him somehow, some way, because he's their piece that is holding them back, as we saw last playoffs.
For sure.
Like that series against the Cavs, man, I don't know what he was doing half the time.
Yeah, they dominated, but it was an all, let's be honest, it was a Jalen Brunson show.
Right.
And Mitchell Robinson show, right? He was getting boards no matter what, right? He was scoring inside the glass. He was defending inside the glass. And then you got Jalen Brunson on the opposite end scoring any bucket he absolutely wanted to.
And then against the Heat, he did absolutely nothing.
Right. So
I don't know,
That was
man.
the best team in the league, though. You know what I'm saying? In the
I
East.
mean, did this move really change the NBA landscape dramatically?
The Dame to Bucks.
Right. If I'm being honest, did that really change that much?
I would say yes and no.
I would agree.
I think the Bucks still remain the top team in the league. They're still a threat every single year.
Right.
But I think now they're more solidified as a threat, where there's not going to be a 8 seed Miami unexpectedly beating them.
Right.
I think now they're almost guaranteed the Western Conference or the Eastern Conference Finals to finals.
Oh, absolutely. If they don't make one of those rounds, that's just a disappointment.
I mean, I think they've been the top Eastern Conference seed the last 3-4 years ever since they've won the world championship, the finals. So for them to, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, now it solidifies them because they do have Damian Lillard. But even before that, they were supposed to go to the Eastern Conference Finals every single year because they had Drew Holiday, they have Chris Middleton, they have Giannis Antetokounmpo, Brooke Lopez, Bobby Portis.
But they weren't doing it because they didn't have a sidekick like Dame for Giannis.
Well,
Now
they
have,
did. They did it in 2021, right? They won.
Yeah, but I mean, that was more Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, like being a not even a sidekick to Giannis. Giannis was just dominating everybody. Let's put it that way.
But then last year, Giannis was hurt.
Okay, that's fair.
now you have 2 top 10 players on the same team. Now.
And like,
100%.
how do you defend a Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo pick and roll? Like, what are you gonna do?
You throw Bam and Jimmy in there.
No, but for real though, because like if you go to Giannis, all right, Dame's open for a three. Then if you believe you stay on Dame, lob. It's like like pick your poison, bro.
For sure, right? And that's why it is so scary with that team. But then to bring it to the West, really, we all know Portland has no shot, right? It is so tight in the Western Conference, like every other year, 1 or 2 games, and you're in from the 4th seed, right, down to the 10. So we already know what Phoenix was bringing to the table, right? Did this really put them over that many more teams, like the Lakers, the Warriors? They were already the top 2, top 3 team, right?
Yeah, they were. So I mean, the trade didn't really put them like the best team in the West. I'd say they're not
Right.
the best in the West yet, but they have potential to be still.
For sure. And then for Portland, yeah, they got better later on, but they're not going to do anything now. So really, the landscape kind of stayed the same, but there's more expectations now, especially on the Bucks.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they can handle it though.
Oh, I do too, bro. Dame Dollar in the playoffs, we know he's different.
They're both
I
hungry.
for sure,
Giannis is, bro, and the Bucks. This was a great way to keep Giannis happy and maybe potentially resign if Dame decides to stay with them.
Giannis was about to dip. He was about to
Oh,
come to
absolutely,
Miami.
bro. He was absolutely going to dip if they didn't get him a chance at a championship this year. He was gone.
And it shows that they're committed to Giannis.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, one of these days they're just gonna be a disappointment because now what Eastern Conference Finals. Bam gonna be aggressive, show why he's better than Giannis. Jimmy gonna show why he is the best in the league. And then Miami's gonna win the finals this year.
so speaking
Lakers.
about Miami though, real quick, what are your guys' thoughts on Pat Riley? Has he lost his step a little bit? Because does he really believe in Tyler Hero that much? Does he believe in the rest of his guys, Bam Adebayo, that much that he couldn't have, reworked a different contract, got a different trade for another big man? Like, to have the same exact team and lose assets like he did as the Miami Heat, how can you convince yourself that you are still uh, a champion contender team? So
I believe he has lost a step because I don't see the aggressive Pat Riley that once got LeBron James to come to Miami anymore. And I haven't seen him for multiple years. And I believe it's because they do still continue to make deep runs into the playoffs. So he's like, I mean, we can still run it back and be fine because we got Jimmy and Bam and Ty coming off the bench. But like at some point, you're gonna have to get Jimmy Butler a sidekick himself so he doesn't get gassed come the finals and they can get over that hump.
Mm-hmm.
I see what y'all are saying with Pat Riley lost the touch, but at the same time, I just think this is who Pat Riley is. He only offered like Tyler Hero and 2 first-round picks, and I think Jovic for Dame.
Yep.
Yeah, and they wanted Bam or Jimmy, so I can see why he didn't want to give one of those up.
And he's not going to get pressured into making a trade where he gives up more than he receives.
Right.
So I don't think he lost a touch in that aspect.
Hmm.
But I think he's lost a touch in the aggressiveness to improve.
Right.
But in my eyes, I don't think that would have been an improvement at that point.
Mm-hmm.
If you gave up Jimmy or Bam for Dame. Yeah, I agree. Once I saw that they asked for Jimmy and Bam and then Pat and Denver called back, I was like, well, that makes sense.
And then I understand that standpoint with Pat, right? I do believe that he doesn't seem as hungry anymore for a championship as we saw like with LeBron James getting LeBron. Getting to the finals, I'm sure that was enough for him in 2020, right? Having that young squad, he's like, okay, I drafted these guys, I signed these guys were all undrafted. This is the squad that we ran to the finals, and then to lose, Gabe Vincent to lose, well, who was the other one? Drews, thank you. Yeah, Maxi Boy. They lost him. So really, I think he's, satisfied with his accomplishments, especially in his general manager career, right? So, but and presence of operations there, but I don't know. This isn't the Miami Heat culture that I love to see. I really think it's dying down right now.
I just feel like they have to get Jimmy a sidekick soon because he just keeps getting gassed in the playoffs.
Yeah, he can't do it by himself.
I agree. But at the same time, the Miami Heat developed players, and they brought back Josh Richardson,
right?
Who hasn't been good since he was last in Miami.
Wow. He wasn't bad on the Mavs.
Huh?
He wasn't bad on the Mavs.
Yeah, he was all right.
Yeah, but he wasn't Miami Heat.
No, he was not Miami Heat. Yeah.
So Miami makes players who they are. That's why I think Strus is going to take a step back.
I agree. I think Gabe's going to be fine, though.
I think Gabe's going to take a slight step back, too, I think Gabe will be better than Strus.
Yeah.
But he'll still take a little step back because he's not in that same Heat culture.
Do you know why he's going to be better?
What?
Because LeBron James is his teammate. LeBron James makes everybody better around him.
Don't tell me Gabe's gonna be just fine, buddy.
LeBron's 38-year-old, but ain't gonna be pushing these kids to get better every day. Like
he already is.
Did you not see Austin Reeves
in the gym
playing
every
the FIBA
day?
World Cup?
Did you not see Nikola Jovic playing in the FIBA World Cup?
Congratulations,
Jovic.
Congratulations, buddy. He's no hillbilly Kobe. He ain't no hillbilly Kobe.
Bro,
hillbilly Kobe out of my face, bro.
Austin Reeves is him.
Austin Reeves can't even hold Tyler Hero's.
Wow, that's crazy. Tyler Hero can't even guard Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves can't guard Ty.
Oh, he'd lock Ty up.
First of all, Austin Reeves wasn't the player he is without LeBron James.
He wouldn't be.
That's a fact. Right? The way he's able to pass the ball now, I'm saying Gabe Vincent's point guard ability is going to increase substantially being with LeBron James.
Gabe was made because of Jimmy.
Yeah, and now he's going to get perfected because of LeBron James.
LA's a lazy city. They don't want to get better. They don't want to get better since Kobe was around.
I'm sorry?
That's why we had a better – well, let's just say it this way. That's why we had the best offseason this offseason.
Bro. Look at LeBron and AD taking time off during the season. You look at Miami, ain't nobody taking time off.
Look at LeBron and AD right now, busting the gym. Where's Miami players at?
I
They're
think I
going to
just saw
work.
Jimmy Butler getting gas. Is that
That's
right?
what I'm saying, bro. He's
They
he's
put,
he's complaining about gas prices for his Bugatti.
hey, bro. Hey, bro. Jimmy Butler is him. All right?
I,
Don't get that twisted.
I mean,
He's the
before the
best
segment
playoff player in the entire league by far.
ends, right? I do want to say that the Bucks are the best in the East. Miami Heat is nowhere near that. Nowhere.
Miami's got the best player in the East by far.
No.
No.
The Bucks have the best player in the world. Giannis
It's Jimmy
Antetokounmpo.
Butler, though.
No, it's not Jimmy Butler. It's not Hemi Butler. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. When
So to wrap up the whole Damian Lillard segment, I think we can all agree that the Milwaukee Bucks are now, they already were one of the favorites, but now in my eyes, they are the favorite. And they're obviously one of the favorites to one of the top three teams to compete for the NBA title this season. And it remains to be seen how it will work out, but it's definitely going to be very fun to watch.
I concur. Prove this statement.
All right. Moving on to the NFL. It was an upsetting week for me, but we'll go with the happiness first. Nick says Dolphins are 3-0, and they are looking like they're coming for everybody's head after putting up 70 points, 35 points in the first half, for 35 points in the first 15 minutes, against the Denver Broncos. Let's hear your thoughts on that game because that was insane.
Clearly the offense was flowing. Like, there's a lot to say about the offense, especially the running backs, Achane, and then Raheem Mostert, and then Tua. But the defense is not getting talked about, and I think that's insane.
Bro, I mean, yeah, it's because you put up 70 points, but to only let up 20 points,
It's not like only letting up 20, but also to give the offense an opportunity to score 70 points
right?
with eight and a half minutes left in the fourth quarter. Your defense has to be doing well. Like Javon Holland, he had a big day. He had a couple pass breakups, a couple tackles,
Y'all had
two
sacks
forced
too,
fumbles.
right?
Huh?
Y'all had a lot of sacks too, right?
I'm talking about Javon right now, bro.
Oh yeah.
Javon Holland forced two forced fumbles on Cortland Sutton by himself.
Dang.
Like Javon Holland was getting it done. Then you had Agba getting the pick off the deflection in that second quarter. The defense got a couple sacks, I think. But yeah, they were just playing really, really good defense. There was a lot of pass breakups. I think Kohu doesn't get enough credit for how he played. He was playing really well. And the defense they balled out to give the offense the opportunity to shine.
Right. And that's what I've been saying. The Dolphins team will go where their defense takes them. If their defense plays like this come playoff time, sky's the limit.
One thing though, everyone's putting them number one in the power rankings right now.
Mm-hmm.
We can't be doing that right now. We gotta beat Buffalo first.
Yeah, this week's a big test. And if they if they play how they played the first 3 weeks against Buffalo, that's when you're gonna know they're for real.
The 70 points is massive though, bringing the confidence to Buffalo.
That is very true, especially since it's in Buffalo.
Yeah, and then you got Tua doing no look passes, little flit.
Yes, sir.
That was about to be my profile picture for a little bit, and I was like, nah.
Bro, that it was fire though. That no look pass.
A chain, a chain. I don't know.
Chan.
Yeah, I think it's a Chan.
No,
They kept saying
Yeah. It's not
Shefty
A-Chan,
said
it's A-Chan or something like
Shefty
that.
said it's a Chan.
Chan, right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Chan.
Yeah.
Chan.
Hearing the announcer say A chain the whole time though, it's gonna be like confusing.
Yeah, bro. His name's very confusing, but he's a baller. Let's just put it that way.
Sure.
He's so elusive, and the ability to break tackles was insane, bro.
And now that you know that you have him on the team, you have an insane speed 1-2 punch in Mostert and him.
Yep. Yep.
And you already got Waddle and Tyreek on the outside with speed as well.
Well, didn't even play on that 70-point game.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If he played, you might hit 100.
Now he healthy. Now it's bad.
So we're gonna see if they can carry that over against Buffalo. But if they can, this Dolphins team is legit.
Facts. I just need Xavier Howard to step up a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was a little disappointed in his production.
Fair. Gio, what's your thoughts on that game?
So that was a disrespectful 70 points they put on Denver, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I understand. Yes, a lot of broken tackles. It was mostly running, right? And then you had Mike White go ahead and put that, what was it, 60, 70-yard bomb out there at the end, right? Good for Mike White, take flight.
Whoa, shout out Chosen too. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I don't think this is anything, right? Everyone was so high on the Dallas Cowboys the first 2 weeks, mind that. First 2 weeks. Oh, they're going to be in the NFC, championship. Then you got the Miami Dolphins, score 70 points. And like you said, Nick, they're putting them at the number 1 spot. This is the best offense we've seen since the 60s. This is the best offense we've seen in this, millennia. Okay, let's take it easy for a second. Let's breathe. Let's digest this game. This is the best offense we've seen in my entire life, possibly. Complete-wise, right? The completeness, they got the passing game. They got it all taken care of. It's the fact that they played against the Denver Broncos, which has me questioning their reliability in offense, right? And defensively, right? Yes, you have Russell Wilson under the helm, in Denver. They're not right. Let's just say that. Denver's not right now. They're not mile high, they're mile low. All right? They're mile low. So for Miami to do that is impressive. But they do need to do it against the Buffalo Bills, which again, I don't think is an impressive team. To me, their most impressive win so far this season is the New England Patriots. That's what is the most impressive game. Not last week, but the New England Patriots game is what proved to me that the Miami Dolphins has what it takes to mentally be there for a full game, right? To mentally be there through the process of an entire season and the grind of going into the playoffs. That one game against Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots proved that to me. And yes, they can score, but mentally they have it too. So everyone's all excited about the offense and what they can do in the defense, but really their mentality now is to go win that championship. And that's exactly what, the head coach, Mike
McDaniel.
McDaniels stated after that win. That was good and all, but we all know why we're here. And that's what he said in the locker room.
I want to shout out Teron Armstead. His first week back in the offense, he put up 70. Shout out Teron.
For sure.
That's my left tackle.
Definitely a big help for sure. Getting your best right tackle back.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
But yeah, Mr. Steele. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say I don't think it was the New England game that
I don't either.
Was the best. I don't think it was the Denver game either. I do think it was the Chargers game. I feel like that was the closest game. That was the most losable game in my eyes. Because all they needed was 3 points to beat us, and that's when the defense showed up big and got 2 sacks on that final drive. So
yeah, I agree. I believe it's the Chargers game as well because they played a very complete game on offense, and the defense got the stops when they needed to.
Thanks.
But yeah. Mr. Steelers over there, they are surprising everybody, including himself right now. He was surprised that they won last week. So let's see what he has to say about their performances so far outside of week 1, of course.
So, right, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the top of the NFC or AFC, my bad. The AFC North. Top of the AFC North, mind you, we had the Ravens that people were so high on. We got the Browns and Watson and that defensive line, right? Not to mention Joe Burrow, Joe Thorough, Joe Breezy, and the Bengals, right? I'm riding high right now. Yes, it's only after week 3, but my Pittsburgh Steelers are on top, and I'm fine with that. That's where I like to be. But how did they beat a team, right, with Jimmy G, right? We all know Porno Jimmy out there in Las Vegas. What's going on? What's going on out there? Nothing. Exactly. There's nothing to be happening. We scored 14 points with our defense. That's what happened. Our defense won us that game. Now, when you go and you look at our offense, we had spurts. Once again, spurts of offense. We need a complete game in order to win. And I do believe we need to still fire Matt Canada because our defense right now is winning our games. And you guys saw that 14 points on the board. If we didn't have those 14 points, if our defense, if TJ Watt didn't score that last touchdown for us, we obviously would not have won that game. And that's what's ridiculous to me is that Kenny Pickett still doesn't know how to throw the ball accurately to his wide receivers, one, and then he doesn't know how to make the smart play once again, and that also has to deal with Matt Canada calling the better play for Kenny to be successful.
Yep, I agree. I've been calling for Matt Canada. I'm not even a Steelers fan, but I've been saying he needs to be fired ever since last season. He is not a good play caller. He doesn't use his quarterback strengths to their advantage, and that's exactly what Kellen Moore used to do with Dak Prescott, and it annoyed the heck out of me. And I'm sure it annoys the heck out of you with Kenny Pickett because he has potential to be great, but he doesn't use Kenny the way he needs to be used. And that is why the Steelers offense has been struggling is because of the play calling. But like you said, yeah, they played the Raiders and a below average quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's just put that out there. So the defense did play great, but they didn't play a great quarterback. But the fact that they did win you probably 2 games in a row against the Browns and then against the Raiders just shows me that Matt Canada isn't doing his job.
For sure. And when you only sorry, Nick, but when you only have our best wide receiver and George Pickens only gets 6 targets, 6.
Without Deontay Johnson too.
100%. And he already had 4 receptions, right? 75 yards, 18.8 average yards. How do you not keep throwing him the ball? He's obviously winning the route.
And the Raiders defense is below average. Get him the ball.
Right. They do have some good pieces in that defensive line, but still, when you have George Pickens doing the things he's doing, you throw him the ball. No, that's my final point, period. That's just what has to happen in order for them to be successful.
George Pickens is the best player on that entire offense. I think I said it last week.
Preach.
I'm going to say it again. Canada has to find ways to get his best player the ball.
For sure.
And to have 6 targets where your receiving core was lacking. The run game, lackluster, I would say.
They just used Warren more, even more than they did.
The defense won them that game against a terrible quarterback.
Yes, and that's why Devontae Adams wants out. But,
We'll take him.
Nah.
I can see him in Dallas, though.
That's who's been linked to, bro. I don't know. I like that, bro.
Let's see if he plays number 2 receiver role where he thrives.
I mean, CD's thriving right now, but if he got Devontae over there too.
But yeah, the Steelers, they're in a good spot on top.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing to me is last year it was pretty much the same thing in the NFC North. And then the Bengals started 0-2 last year. And then they came out of nowhere and went 12-5. And we all know the rest. So to me, it's only 3 weeks in. The Bengals are going to find their groove eventually. Joe Burrow's not going to play this bad all season. I'm sorry, he's just not. He has to get healthy first. But
yeah, that's not going to happen if he keeps playing.
He will. He'll get healthy. And once he gets healthy, the Bengals will find their stride and win that division.
Yeah. Steelers are good right now, but the Bengals are coming. I'm never going to count out Joe Burrow, especially when he's shown he gets off to slow starts. I think November and December football are completely different NFL
Mhm.
games.
For sure.
I think that's when Joe Burrow is going to turn it up, and then that division comes back to reality, and Miami's
Yeah.
got to worry about the Bengals.
I mean, the Bengals always start 0-2 and then always find a way to get to the AFC Championship. So I'm not going to count them out.
Not this year though.
Hey, man, we'll see.
So with the remaining schedule, the Steelers have 9 winnable games, in my opinion, that are not in or maybe 8, I think it's 8, that are not in our division. We play against the Texans, which is a winnable game. We play against the Rams, which is a winnable game. The Jaguars, the Titans, the Packers, right? The Cardinals are all winnable games. The Colts and the Patriots, right? So those are 8 winnable games right there, along with possibly 2 wins against the Bengals. Yes, we play them later on in the season. I personally think Joe Burrow is going to get hit. He's not going to be 100% healthy the entire season because he's still dealing with that calf injury, because the defensive players know that and they're going to target him.
Okay, but at 80% Joe Burrow is still better than most quarterbacks in the league.
They barely won this week.
I'm aware,
Okay,
but they're going to find their stride. I truly
think they
believe that.
could find his stride if he was healthy. How can you find your stride when your quarterback is not fully healthy?
Because he all they need to do is protect him, and once they protect him, he's going to find his receivers.
Have they done so thus far?
Not yet, but they will start.
Why not now? Why not start protecting him now?
They will this week. They improved in it last week, not 100%, but they improved mightily, and they're going to improve more.
Okay. As long you need that front seven, right, to be strong. Because yes, I do agree. If Joe Burrow's able to just sling that ball, right, but he's been needing to move, right, in order to find open, players. That front seven is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Now that the Bengals opened up that win column, though, now it's time to be worryful.
Exactly, because that, like I said, it's the same thing that happened last year. They just went on an insane win streak.
It is, but then again, Joe Burrow wasn't injured, as much as we know, considered to this year.
Another thing, though, Tyler Boyd hasn't been good at all this year yet, even
Right.
in
He's
that
been
way.
very quiet.
I think
So
once
was
Tyler Boyd,
T. Higgins has been too.
What do you have? Three targets last week? Who was it?
He's been very quiet.
So
once they start get going, I think the Bengals they're gonna be fine.
And Joe Mixon's going to get going too. Like they're all going to get going eventually.
But let's just say this right now: Steelers are on top. They can still fight for that wild card seed, even if the Bengals happen to win the AFC North. Which right now it's looking like we got possibly 8 games under our belt. Who knows what can happen, right? But let's just move on to my personal favorite this week.
I would like to start with this one. The Dallas Cowboys.
I like it.
Jake said earlier that Dak is not being utilized for his strengths. I still believe Dak is a bottom 20 quarterback in the league at this point. Or a bottom 10 quarterback. He's not top 20.
Nah, he's bottom 20. We all know he's bottom 20.
He's top 15. That's all I'm going to say.
He's not top 15.
He ain't like Jared Goff.
Oh,
We've
yes,
seen
he
him
is.
get carried by his defense all season. Now it was time for him to step up for his defense, and he couldn't get the job done. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to categorize him with Jared Goff, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo. But at some point, Dak's got to step up, and he's got to deliver for this team.
I do agree he does have to step up, but I don't agree that he got carried by the defense both weeks. Yes, the defense did contribute to the wins. He got carried by against the Giants, not against the Jets. He scored a lot of touchdowns against the Jets. The defense didn't score any touchdowns against the Jets. Yeah, 2 touchdowns against the Giants. Okay, I'll give you that. Not against the Jets, though. But he does need to step up big time because, I mean, the play calling wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. But he made some very questionable throws all game. And it really brought me back to last year when he tries to force the play. Just make Gio always says about Kenny Pickett, make the smart play, don't make the hero play. Dak was trying to make the hero play this past weekend, and it resulted in a loss. But that defense also looked like last year's defense, considering the run game, and the secondary looked awful. Yes, Trayvon Diggs isn't out there, so that doesn't help. But I need to see more from Deron Bland. He played absolutely awful. I expected more from him. I expect him to take a huge step this week, and I hope he does because we need to win this game. And our run defense, I don't know what we were doing out there and what we did before the Cardinals game, but whatever it did, we need to flush it down the toilet because our defense looked absolutely awful. And it just showed me that, yeah, we played up mediocre teams the first 2 weeks. And yeah, I mean, the Cardinals aren't great, but they're better than the Jets and Giants as of right now because they've been putting up more points than both those teams. And it just reminded me like, yeah, we can have all the regular season success in the world, but at the end of the day, if we don't show up when it matters, we're not going to do anything come playoffs.
Facts. The Cowboys have been disappointing. They were disappointing against Cardinals. My boy Dobbs is about to get paid.
All around, bro. It wasn't even like one aspect of the game, just all around disappointing. It was all around bad. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Penalties, awful. Run defense, awful. Defense entirely, offense entirely, all trash, bro. Just throw out the game tape.
But the good thing is now y'all get to go into Monday's practice being like, hey, we're just not good. Let's get better every day.
I think it will light a fire under us though, because last year I remember we lost a game we should have won, and then the next week we played the Vikings and we came out and 40 bombed them, and Micah Parsons had like 3 sacks. So I don't expect a game like that, but I expect a fire under all of us come Sunday.
I also believe that will happen. I think now that they had that embarrassing loss to the Cardinals, I think they're going to be like, all right, we got to get back to work. Let's get better. Hold ourselves to our standard, as McDaniel says. And I think Dak has to actually do something for once in his Cowboys career, besides choke the game. But, you know.
It's crazy, but okay. But yes, you are correct. Dak will have to step up come season. But the only bright spot I will see in the Cardinals game is that Mike McCarthy's play calling. I love the way he uses CeeDee Lamb as a number 1 receiver, which is what the Steelers need to do with George Pickens. And I love the way he uses Kevontae Turpin, a speedy receiver, but he uses him like a running back and gets him the ball in some very creative ways, which I like to see.
I hope you're ready for Gio now, though.
Yeah.
This is where it's going to get passionate.
So, how about them Arizona Cardinals beating a team who thought they were like, NCAA's Alabama, Ohio State, top Georgia, right? Going ahead, destroying the Giants 40-0, going ahead, destroying another New Jersey team in the Jets 30-10, right? Without their star quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, go right ahead. Oh, we're the best team in the NFC, right?
We didn't say NFC. We said NFC East.
No. Everyone's putting you guys at the top, obviously, right?
Not what I've seen.
Defense.
Not what I've seen. Yeah, the defense, yeah, but not the team entirely.
With the first 2 weeks, everyone's putting you up there. Don't say that after week 3. Don't be saying that after week 3.
Yeah, because we said we had the best defense, not the best team.
Okay, fine.
To be fair, everyone still says Niners. They said the Niners.
Okay, but they were up there.
We're still up there though.
And they were saying,
still
wow,
up there.
This could be the best defense we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, but right? that was also before Trayvon Diggs got hurt.
Okay, evidently, but really, he's not even your best defensive player. He's your best secondary defensive player.
Which is very helpful.
Which is 100%, right? But if you are trying to be the best defensive team we have seen in a long time, that's a collectively great defense. You got linebackers, you got safeties, right? It's not just DBs and whoever Micah Parsons is on the line, linebacker, right? He's everywhere he can be. He's only one player, though. He can't do it all. So to be the best defensive collectively, you got to have a bunch of other players. And like you just mentioned in your argument, they didn't show up. Okay, point made there. Josh Dobbs, I'm waving to Kyler Murray right now. I'm waving. He's out of Arizona. He ain't showing up next year. He ain't showing up for the rest of the season. Thank goodness for that, because Josh Dobbs is here, right? 28 points.
You know Kyler's coming back, right?
Yeah. But for real though, let me ride this out. Josh Dobbs, let me ride this out. Get your one win against a great Dallas Cowboys team, supposedly great, right? But in all seriousness though, good for Josh, right? He got a great win under his belt. Dak Prescott, like you said, he's got to make the smart play. This is a really important game. They showed me that they can't handle the adversity throughout a game like this. Supposedly an easier team to beat. We did see Danny Dimes go ahead, scored 21 straight points, 28 straight points against 21. This Dallas or against this Arizona team in the second half. That's Daniel Jones of the New York Giants that you guys skunked 40-0, and you guys couldn't go ahead and do that in the second half. To me, it showed that, like you said, he tried to make the miracle play. He needs to calm down, take it play by play, down by down, and he just didn't do that. Once you guys went down 3-15, it was over from there. Honestly, you guys didn't look. They didn't look back. You guys didn't look back, and you guys just couldn't catch up to them. And that's why in the postseason, this game is going to be so important to look back on. I know you said throughout the tape, but it's going to be so important to look back on because you can see all the defective plays that you had because he wasn't taking his time. He wasn't looking for the smart play. And now he can hopefully learn from that going into the postseason later on.
Yeah, for sure. I do believe that, the Cardinals are record-wise not a great team, but I believe that they are underrated because they have competed with every team that they played, and I personally was writing them off from the start. I didn't expect them to be this good offensively. Yeah, their defense isn't great at all, which is why they keep losing. But I didn't expect Josh Dobbs to be doing what he was doing. So I think they're an underrated team. Yes, the Cowboys should have still beat them, obviously, and they will still end up as one of the worst teams in the league. But they aren't as bad as people expect them to be, is what I'm trying to say.
But I agree. They are better, but they went against Nick. Listen to this. They went against the Commanders, lost by 4. They went against the Giants, lost by 3. Those two teams, would you say, are respectable? Except for the Giants, right?
The Giants, yes.
Because they are Super Bowl, contenders, right? In your eyes.
Hey, they competed with the Niners, bro.
No, they didn't.
For the most part, right?
They competed.
They ain't gonna make the playoffs at this rate, but keep going.
They got the momentum now.
No.
But all I'm trying to say here is let's see what they do next week against the 49ers, which is supposed to be the top, right?
Right.
If they can make it competitive, right? I agree with you. They're very underrated. But if they get skunked or if they go down 40, to 10 or whatever the case may be, then it just proves to you that either was a lucky week, right? That's not going to happen. That was an anomaly. Or they can be competitive and show that they have heart.
Yeah, for sure. I do believe that the Dallas Cowboys took the Cardinals for granted and expected it to be an easy win, which is why we sat most of our offensive line, which also didn't help, but there's still no excuses no matter what. Right. And I just believe that we played down to our competition like we do at least once every season, it seems like.
I agree. That could have happened. But
yeah.
Nick, why wouldn't you take advantage of that opportunity if you are the Cowboys offense and try to run different play, right, for different players, trying to get them open, try to get them different looks so that you can have that in your bag later on in the season?
Wait, what? Yeah, what are you saying, bro?
I'm saying if this was a trap game, right? they took
But-
him lightly. Why not run different plays for different offensive players like Gallup, right? Like CD, right?
But if you're losing, but I'm just saying, if you're losing, why are you trying to run different plays that you never run before?
I'm saying, why was your game plan this way to begin with? Why didn't you have in your bag in the first and second quarter, in the first couple of drives, if you saw them as light competition, why not do something different?
To me, I believe we saw it as the first 2 weeks where it was just going to be a defense domination.
Facts. I get what you're trying to say by getting players going, but it's still early where the plays that are your go-to plays
Mhm.
are not gelled entirely yet. That
Right.
doesn't happen until late in the season, mid-season.
Yep.
So right now, even if it is an easy game per se, you still want to get that gelling now against
Gotcha.
easy competition.
Hmm.
So when you need it against the 49ers, it's more gelled, it's more fluid, it works at a higher rate. So that's why I don't think you call plays for Michael Gallup. You call plays for
Got you.
random
I
players.
I also believe you just don't want to show your entire playbook this early in the season.
Oh, I agree from that standpoint. I'm just saying, like, okay, why not try some trick stuff, right? Against a team that we most likely can beat.
Yeah, I mean, Mike McCarthy's never been known for trick plays, though. He's just known for making a simple play.
Yeah, that was just a poor game.
It was, but looking on onto this week, hopefully we bounce back. That's all I can say.
So, what was the most surprising game to you guys?
Saya?
I don't even know, bro.
I mean, I'll just say it. I'm not going to say it because I'm a Cowboys fan, but it actually, even if I wasn't a Cowboys fan, it would have surprised me because I just expected it to be a blowout. Like, I knew the Cardinals, we shouldn't have taken them like super easily, but I still expected it to be a 30-10 type of game, like the Jets game. I didn't expect it to be that close and like the Cardinals come out and score 2 touchdowns right away.
Yeah, I agree. That's up there.
Honestly, sorry.
Go right ahead. Yeah, go right ahead.
I think it's Chargers that game.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd they play again?
Vikings.
Chargers, Vikings.
Yeah.
28-24 final score.
Bro, the Vikings are 0-3 right now. It's crazy.
Jay Herbo balled out. Keenan Allen balled out.
Bro, Keenan Allen caught 18 passes and threw a touchdown pass.
Yeah. And then you had Kirk balling out. Super high scoring game, super competitive. I think it was the most shocking because the Vikings came out with the loss.
Yeah. And basically on a tip drill, too, that Joshua Palmer TD basically settled the game.
Yeah, so in that game, like I knew it was going to be a good game to watch, but I fully anticipated the Vikings getting it done. And for the Chargers to have Mike Evans is the most shocking part.
Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's a 31-year-old receiver that should be on like the decline of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he had the best game of his entire career in that game.
He might have.
I believe that's also why the Vikings are struggling so mightily this season is because of their secondary. It's been absolutely awful all year.
Thanks. Shout out Jay Herbo though.
Sure.
For sure, bro. He balled out. But go ahead, Gio. What's your most surprising game?
Now I'm gonna give some love to the Ohio State Buckeye alumni. We're gonna be talking about CJ Stroud and them Texans, them Houston Texans, right? Who can't even find success anywhere. Happen to be a great Jacksonville team. Yes, they are 1-2, but like you said, against with those Arizona games, Jacksonville has made every game competitive, right? They are 1-2, but Houston is also 1-2. Houston won 37-17. CJ Stroud, right? 20 for 30, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. Singletary had 9 carries, 41 yards. And then Tank Dell had 5 receptions, 145 yards, 1 TD. That is his name because that man played like a tank.
For sure. I'm also surprised at just the Texans in general. Based off what I've seen for the first few weeks of the season, I truly now believe that CJ Stroud should have been the number 1 pick based off what I've seen. And if he does what he's been doing against the Pittsburgh Steelers this week,
right,
it will be very shocking because I believe this is this is the best defense he's played so far. Let's put it that way.
I'm very scared.
Yeah, it could be a trap game. I'm not going to lie to you. It could
be a trap game.
So I believe that CJ Stroud should have been the number 1 pick, and the Texans are really surprising me, led by CJ Stroud and Tank Dell coming out of nowhere. I didn't even know about this kid until this year, or Nico Collins. Like, they just have the craziest players going on breakout seasons so far.
They're insane, but I do have to say I love these 2 quarterbacks, right? And Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. Bryce Young, you can see how collective he is inside the pocket. He doesn't have that much time to throw the ball. But you can see that kid is going to develop into something great. CJ Stroud, on the other hand, man, this was a great breakout game for him. Unfortunately, the success is going to end here. I hope he doesn't, go ahead and move forward to this week with the Steelers, just because you got the Steelers defense, you got us trying to roll, go ahead and win the AFC North. Again, going against the Texans, CJ Stroud, you never know. He can roll ahead and be the next Joe Burrow, be the next Patrick Mahomes. You never know. And these guys can Tua Tagovailoa, MVP this year. CJ Stroud can make that impact for this team and possibly be a wild card just because of him alone and Tank. So watch out for the Texans.
The Texans are surprising. Although I saw CJ Stroud as quarterback number 1 going into the season.
Yeah.
The only thing that put him behind was that test thingy that they took.
Yeah.
But he's better.
So, Gio decided to hand off the cliffhanger to Nick Sayo right there. But finish what you were saying about CJ Stroud, and we'll move on.
Yeah, he's a nice quarterback. Tank Dell's a nice receiver. I think he's a rookie, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So that was a nice pickup for them. I don't think it's a sleeper game. I think they're going to get dealt with, but he is Rookie of the Year candidate.
Oh, for sure. So you think the Steelers are going to smoke him, though?
Not smoke him, but I think it'll be a nice 20-14.
Okay. But moving on to some more unfortunate injury news with Mike Williams tearing his ACL. Big blow to the Chargers team, who's already struggling. They're 1-2. Obviously, we touched on them winning against the Vikings. This has got to be the most insane injury season that I can remember in history. It's like 3 weeks in, there's already been 5 season-ending injuries, and I don't remember it ever being this bad. What are your guys' thoughts on what is causing this season specifically?
I have no idea, bro. Maybe lack of preseason snaps, but even then, I don't know.
That's the only thing I can think of is they were just chilling too much in the off season, didn't get their body right. I don't know.
It's crazy though.
Because 3 weeks in, there's usually not 5 season-ending injuries. What's your thoughts, Gio?
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget when Joe Burrow snapped his ACL. Christian McCaffrey did the same thing, right? Who else did that same exact year, right? Multiple people did. I think Saquon went down that year as well. These guys are the most physically fit athletes we have ever seen right now in this day and age. NBA, football, athletes, professional athletes are the most physically fit now. What Chad Ocho, right? What he said was the body is not physically right now, meaning they're not getting the realistic snaps. They're not getting their body right with getting hit, right? It's a different game. It's a different animal when your body gets hit in the real game, right? It's not ready for that. So if your body's already battle tested, like he was describing, older NFL players used to do, and that's why there was less injuries, right? These NFL players, yes, they're trying to save injuries, right, by keeping them healthier, by not hitting them in the preseason or in training camp, whatever the case may be. They're not doing any more really like physical contact in the preseason and in the, I would say, in the training camps. Now to his point, I do agree that could be an option of why there's more injuries. Is it the turf? People are calling it the turf. Then again, we have always played with the turf, pretty much, right? For the most part. As of late, we have been playing with the turf. Now, what I think it is, right? It has to be the mobility. It has to be the warm up. These guys are out here before a game, lollygagging, doing nothing. They're not really warming their body up where it needs to be to its fullest extent. Why do you see NBA players out there an hour or 2 hours before the game putting up shots, getting in the dribbling, and going around the court, getting in some sprints, getting in some, you see LeBron James getting in some core work, mobility work on, the medicine balls and all those things, right? Going on the yoga ball, getting some core work done. You need your body to be ready to be in those high physical games, right? In those high performance games, right? Because you are a professional athlete, you are playing at the best, the most elite level. And if your body goes into shock going in, leading up into those games because your body's not right because you didn't warm up properly, then you are going to have these injuries.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't believe it's the turf entirely because half of them must also have been on grass. So the turf doesn't play that big of a role given that aspect. But I do believe that not warming up, full speed could definitely play a role for sure.
100%.
But what's your guys' thoughts on what the Mike Williams injury does for the Chargers, who are already struggling?
I think it's a massive hit. I viewed him as their wide receiver one.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a big hit too because they just lost their best deep threat by far.
But
sure.
I think Keenan Allen's getting up there in age, so you got to ask more from him, and that might be rough on his body.
Yeah.
I do expect their young receivers to step up though. Joshua Palmer and then their rookie they drafted in Quentin Johnson. I expect them to step up, but will it be enough?
Here's a thought which I heard today, which I loved. Davante Adams getting traded to the Chargers, who needs a number one, who is in a likely spot where if they had a number one, they could start winning, right? Davante Adams is not happy in Las Vegas, as we can see right now. He does not like losing. Just like, what's his name? I forget his name. I'm so sorry. Denver Broncos offensive line. Bowles is his name. His last name Bowles.
Todd Bowles? No, that's not top. No, that's a coach. What is his name?
I think was he a first rounder?
I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember his first name.
Right. So I feel bad for him. He goes, ever since being here for the last 6 years, all I've known is losing, right? I think Davante Adams can appreciate what he's saying because exactly what's happening in Las Vegas. He wants out before it's too late and goes to LA, plays for the Chargers, with Justin Herbert. Man, that would be a great duo, and they need that number one.
Yeah, that could be a very good option. But if I'm the Raiders and I do trade Davante Adams, I'm getting him out of the AFC entirely. I do not want to play him anymore.
I think it would be a good fit, though.
It would be, yeah, for sure.
He just shifted his Miami hat for a reason. Huh? Oh, I thought you were, accentuating the hat for Miami, Davante to go down there.
If you want to come to Miami and be that third piece, wide receiver,
He can come to Dallas, man.
I mean, hear me out, bro. You know, Devontae, you can come to Miami, make this offense that just scored 70 even better by being our number 3 wide receiver.
Like I said, if I'm the Raiders, get him out of the AFC entirely.
Honestly, the Raiders got to get rid of Jimmy G. They need a real quarterback.
I mean, yeah, they should have just stuck with Derek Carr if we're going to be honest. Because Devontae Adams went there for Derek Carr. That's the main reason he's unhappy. They got rid of his friend. That's my opinion.
And then they brought in a terrible quarterback that shouldn't even be starting in the NFL.
Like
Shouldn't even be a backup.
Derek Carr wasn't wasn't great, but he wasn't as bad as Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'll say it again. Jimmy G shouldn't even be a backup quarterback. His looks are what keeps him as a starter.
I mean that's why he's in Las Vegas right now.
I mean, shoot, bro. If all I gotta do is hand off the ball 30 times and be a quarterback, sign me up.
That's why Stephen A refers to him as porn star Jimmy for a reason.
But overall, though, I do believe Devontae Adams does need to get out of Las Vegas.
Ship him out. He needs help. Chargers are the best option.
As of right now, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you know.
What? Gio, you got a segment for us?
You know, I do. Yes, they had a couple, sneaker re-releases, right? And sneakers. Good to see that. Here's one thing to me that's really, gonna happen this weekend, right? It's Colorado coming off of that loss to the Oregon Ducks, right?
That was bad. That was really bad.
It was bad. But then you go to this weekend, right? And you're playing a team in who are they playing this week?
They play USC.
USC, right?
Yeah.
Now you got Shiloh Sanders matching up against Brendan Rice. Now that's the son of the great Jerry Rice. Deion Sanders versus Jerry Rice. You got Shiloh Sanders versus Brendan Rice. Man, this is going to be something special to watch on Saturday, right? This is going to be the best matchup, probably the best game we're going to see this Saturday. I'm going to love it. This matchup is going to be the best thing, right? Just like with, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Dame Dalla. Get your popcorn ready for this matchup with Shiloh Sanders and Brendan Rice because this is going to be something special.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a very good game to watch. I expect Colorado to bounce back after that embarrassing loss last week. I don't expect them to win. I still think USC will come out on top, but I expect it to be a close game.
You don't think Deion Sanders is in that locker room saying this is personal now? The whole world is against us. We're here. We've been here. Yeah, we had a bad loss against Oregon, but we're still here. It's one game. It's one game.
Bro. Yeah. They played nobody before that game. Once they play somebody and do that, I got no faith in them anymore until they prove otherwise.
Thank you, Dallas Cowboys fan, because that is perfectly stated for their season right now.
Hey, I still got faith in the Cowboys.
But why don't you have faith in Colorado? Why are you being a hypocrite with Colorado?
I'm not. I'm just saying USC is a better team.
You were never high on Colorado. Let me just state that, right?
Yeah,
but I'm saying if they've shown their greatness going against bad teams like the Cowboys did, right? And they end up losing a game terribly. Why wouldn't you have belief in them still?
Why would I though? Because the first time they play competition, what do?
I mean, they did lose.
They got smoked. They didn't lose. They got smoked.
Colorado's back at their strength now, though, being the Cinderella team.
That is true, but I just feel like Caleb Williams is probably the best college quarterback, and I don't expect Colorado to slow him down.
You give Shedeur an offensive line, because we all know they lost because that offensive line couldn't block nobody. It looked like baby against men out there, right? That last Saturday, it looked like babies against men out there. with Bo Nix, going ahead, throwing the ball nice and easy, right? Nah, you had that Colorado offensive line crying, going the opposite way, right? They didn't even block. So you give Shador his offensive line, I do believe that he would be better, and I do think he is the best quarterback right now in college football. Behind, what's his name? Garrett over at Syracuse.
Garrett Schrader, I agree.
Schrader.
Yeah.
I
But
agree.
should being undefeated.
Yes, sir. Clemson
Garrett
this week.
Schrader with his fake plays against Purdue, go ahead and beat an Army, right? Everyone, they were down against Army. They come back and win that game. I love it. Let's go,
Yes,
Cuse,
sir.
baby.
Yes, sir. Let's go beat Clemson this weekend.
Fumble 6, bring it back.
But I also believe that the Colorado lost because their spirits were too high after the first 2 weeks. They were trash talking. We saw a film of Shiloh trash talking the entire Oregon team. Obviously, Oregon took that personally and let it out on them.
They took that personally. Just in the name of Deion Sanders and Michael Jordan, they took that personally.
Hey, man, I'm not saying that they're going to get blown out, but I believe they'll lose in a very close game by 7, I think.
I think they'll bounce back. They're hungry.
Will that Hunter kid be back? Is that his last name?
Yeah,
Hunter?
he's not.
Yeah, Travis
He won't
Hunter?
be
I
back
don't
for
think so.
he won't be back for like 2 to 3 weeks.
Right. He's still got a lacerated what is it? Is it a spleen or is it the liver? I don't know. It's
I think it was liver.
liver, yeah.
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 But that also played a factor in Shador not playing great because he didn't have a stop weapon.
For sure. And they didn't have their best defensive player too. So
yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be a great game for sure. But in the video game world, FIFA, which is not named FIFA anymore, it's actually called EA Sports FC 24. It does come out tomorrow, so tonight at midnight you can get that game. I haven't gotten a chance to look at it, but I have heard that it has taken a little bit of a decline because of the new partnership. So I don't know if I'm going to get it, but if you are into soccer and into FIFA, I would definitely suggest you get that game for sure.
And for music, shout out Rodway. I liked his album. But also shout out Denzel Curry for the drop last week.
Denzel Curry.
All right. Thank you all for watching. See y'all in the next one.
Yep. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed or agreed with us, make sure to drop a like, please. And thank you. If you disagreed with us or thought that we were tripping, like Dak being a bad quarterback or something, drop a comment for us. But make sure to Geo as well.
Hey guys, we always love your support, watching us every single week. But if you really love us, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate that. We know your love, right? We love you guys. So let's spread the love. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Pause. Peace.